I started reading the book and it made me sad because I wish I wrote this book. Keep watching to find out what book I'm talking about today. Hey you guys, it's Denanyoh, and today we are talking about an entrepreneur that I had never heard of, and now I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her brand. I'm obsessed with her storytelling, okay? I read about 2 to 3 books a week. So when I find a book that I absolutely love, a nonfiction book, you know it's gotta be good, all right? Today we're talking about the book, The Outsider Advantage, okay? This book is written by Sierra Rogers. The genre of the book is nonfiction. The theme of the book is entrepreneurship, kind of autobiography, okay? So I started looking up books about confidence, imposter syndrome, and running a business, right? Especially for people who have never run a business before, didn't grow up with other people that were running businesses. And I found this book and I thought the title was absolutely brilliant, The Outsider Advantage. So I started reading it and I find out that Sierra starts this business with only $10 in her pocket. And we've all heard those stories about entrepreneurs. I was at my last bid and then I did it. Yeah, but how? She tells you how. She's literally like, I posted an outfit online, people started commenting on it, and I was like, can I do this again? And then she started doing it again, and then she started doing it again. Now, Sierra's unfair advantage, which we learn in the book, is that her mother is a stylist, and so she already had the mindset for seeing different outfits, figuring out what they would look like on a body type, seeing how she could play with textures and fabrics and things like that, but she didn't know what she was gonna do with that. She moves from Houston, Texas to Los Angeles to get into being PR and public relations and marketing. She didn't realize that she could learn all of that stuff once she leaned in on the skills she already had. So I recently emailed Sierra. I hope you get it. Right? You're a huge multi-million-dollar brand now. I'm sure your email is monitored. But I was like, I started reading the book and it made me sad because I wish I wrote this book. I'm a lawyer who stopped working in big law firms because I started a podcast because I love storytelling. And now I encourage lawyers and law students to tell their stories wherever they are, to share, to talk, to do different creative, new and wild things. That's what Sierra is doing, but not with lawyers and not with law students and with people who are from the South but have dreams of living on the West Coast, and people who just are in marginalized communities like ours where we didn't grow up with like a silver spoon in our mouth or a trust fund or people cheering us on and giving us things. For one, only 5% of all lawyers in the United States of America are Black Americans. I am a Black American woman. First lawyer in my family, first person to move to Louisiana, 1,500 miles away from home. Also, there's not that many women that are lawyers, right? And then I'm also a very kind and fun person. I'm not nice. That is very rare because law school makes you want to be a shark. Working in big law offices makes you want to be a shark. I am an outsider. I would not have called myself that. I just always said that I was the first. This book literally starts and it's like, hey, there's a roadmap to success. This is what most people do and this is what I did. That is my entire life's story. And it was so fascinating to find out that other people have lived like that in completely different industries, genres, worlds. For one, I had never heard of Babes. Originally, the company was called babesandfelines.com, but I had never heard of that brand. People would call me full-figured. I'm 189 pounds, but I'm also 5'9". But her brand is for curvy women. That might be why I've never heard of it. I might have never heard of it because I live in a Midwestern state. There's a whole bunch of reasons, but like now I get to learn Sierra's story, fall in love with her storytelling, and then go and look up her brand. And even if I don't find anything that I want to buy there, I can now tell everyone in the world. But people that I run into, hey, have you heard of the No Gap jeans? You should try those. I don't got much of a booty. I've never needed a No Gap jean, but there's this whole world and industry that I've never even heard of, and I get to discover it just because of books. Thank you, Sierra. Okay, so there are a couple things in the book that I really, really like. Help is part of growing and evolving. No one does anything alone, no matter how self-sufficient they may appear. I love this quote because I'm a podcaster. I have a whole team of people working behind me. They write episode notes, they edit the content, they schedule the content. There's always people behind you. And even if my husband has never had his name tagged at the bottom as website design by Denanyoh, I have always known that he was the one who initially designed the website, right? And so I love that she said, beware of anyone who says that they are just doing it on their own, because you have to learn how to ask for help. And it's actually a sign of strength to be able to ask for help, okay? Another quote that I really enjoyed was, If any of this journey of mine feels familiar to you, pause and sit with the discomfort. Face it, the successful person you are becoming is on the other side of this mountain. This is interesting because this is from a chapter where Sierra is talking about a emotionally abusive relationship that she's in. She dates this guy who does not trust her. Wherever she goes somewhere, he wants her to FaceTime him when she arrives so that he sees where she is. And you're reading it and you're like, oh, that's cute. He wants to go along. No, he's keeping tabs on her. You say you're going to the restaurant, call me when you're at the restaurant so that I can see. And Sierra mentions how she's frustrated because she thought she was early to the dinner. She wanted to FaceTime him before her friends get there so that then she's not self-conscious, like, okay, look, I'm here, recording with her phone. This was important because one of the fears she had to face was leaving that relationship, deciding that she was worth more. And that is an interesting perspective. It's not something that I would have immediately thought to learn about when I'm learning about entrepreneurship. But when you run a business, you have already decided that you want to create something that no longer exists or to improve a process that does exist. You are automatically a unicorn. A lot of people have grand ideas and big things they want to do and they never take the steps to do it. So the fact that you have done anything towards it, you're already in a league of your own. But that self-trust, which comes with creating something, will spill over into every area of your life. There is no way that you are creating a business and saying, look, I have done these no gap jeans. I have designed these pants with these inside slits. I have done all of this stuff. Look at what I can do. Look at what my hands, my mind, my brain can do. Being that pioneer, being that unicorn will spill over into other areas of your life where you're like, I have a whole team of people that I pay, and yet I got a boyfriend who doesn't even trust me. I think I need to leave. And so it was a really interesting perspective, and you learn that really early on in the book where she decides that she's going to leave that relationship because she's modeling some things that she's seen as a child, but also she had to stand up and advocate for herself just like she advocates for her clients and their body types when she designs for them and sells clothing. Fascinating, right? So would I reread this book? Absolutely. My rule is I have to read a book 3 times before I can buy it, before you join the family of books. But this one was so good. I am really excited to put out this review, pick this book up and read it again, because I know I'm always going to catch something new every time I read it. If you were interested in running a business, if you already run a business, pick this up. There is something I've wanted to do, and it's been in the back of my mind, and I've had a list about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Literally before I could finish reading the book, I had set a timer and started doing it. And that's all because I'm listening to Sierra, because I'm reading her story and I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I love that. I love, love, love it. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this book review, and I'll see you in the next one.